Our national youth policy seeks to do exactly that. It actually targets young people, and it is aimed at empowering them in the area of education, skills development, and providing them with second chances. But then it also empower young people so that they can become entrants into the economy and contribute to the economic growth of the country. It looks at their health and well-being, as well as creating a social cohesion within the society. And it also seeks to strengthen institutions that are responsible for youth development in the country.
When you talk about second chances, I presume you mean, for example, adult education or something like that?
Certainly. There are many young people who actually drop out of the education system, and they fall within the cracks because some are actually unable to pursue their education, and as a result, we need to actually provide them with second chance so that they can become contributing members of the society.
I've always been slightly surprised, if I may say, that we don't have a lot more of that kind of intervention, some sort of way, an easily accessible and free way for people who are maybe between 18 and 25 to go back to school. And obviously we can't have them going back to school with younger children. I know that the psychologists say we shouldn't do that. But, I mean, we need some sort of big adult education system, maybe online.
Yes, you know, the COVID-19 actually pandemic actually bring that you know, into our attention, because we see many young people really struggling. They are no longer able to find you know, jobs physically, and we need to actually promote the issue of continuous learning, because you know, we need to make sure that adult basic education is in place. And we need to actually promote technical and vocational education and training, so that, you know, as many young people who have fallen out of the schooling system, they can have second chance to contribute to society.
I realize that you're with the ministry, the youth ministry, so in a way your mandate starts at a particular age. But it would seem we do need to start before people are 18. I mean, so many of the problems are at school. If over half or around half of our learners are dropping out before they get to matric, we need to do interventions when they're a lot younger. I mean, I would argue that many people maybe haven't been let down by our schooling system, but almost betrayed by it.
Our youth policy is not actually silent on that. We acknowledge that we need to intervene even earlier. Although the definition of youth is from 14 to 35, we even in the national youth policy, there are even policy proposals for early childhood education. So it means that we acknowledge the fact that we cannot only wait until young people are 14 for us to intervene, but then we are saying that quality education should even begin at a very early stage, so that our young people, when they turn 14, they can be able to transit smoothly. But then again, even they should actually be able to be prepared to transit into adulthood.
I mean, in a way, and everything comes back to economics, doesn't it, Dr. Hlagala? I mean, if the economy was growing at 10% a year, and I mean, it's not, but if it was, you know, you would be employed almost no matter what qualification you came out of school with. Do you have any sort of economic proposals in there, particularly jobs that maybe will help young people?
Yes, we do have proposals that talks to economic empowerment of young people, you know, for job creation, but then also for entrepreneurship. And, you know, the key interventions that we are looking at, for an example, is attracting young people to participate in agriculture, because, you know, we are not only, we actually encourage them to participate in the agricultural value chain. We also encourage, you know, young people to be involved in creative industries. And some of the interventions also include, you know, training and employment of young people in the areas of the fourth industrial revolution. So there are key proposals where we are saying that they have got high absorption capacity, and our youth need to actually be involved in those because, if there is a demand, they are likely to become more involved and contribute within the society.
And then the National Youth Development Agency, I presume one of the agencies you were talking about, one of the agencies that's supposed to empower young people. There's a lot of political noise about it. There always has been. The accusation from opposition parties is this, the defense is that. But do you think it's really done the job that it's supposed to do? I think people are very critical of that agency.
The National Youth Development Agency must not be seen as a panacea for youth development in the country. Youth development is not the responsibility of the agency alone. It is the responsibility of the agency working together with key stakeholders in government, in civil society, as well as in private sector. So this policy actually emphasizes exactly that, because we are saying that people should not only pinpoint at the National Youth Development Agency. The agency has actually made significant strides in contributing towards youth development, including empowering young people. And, we are even going to be looking at amending the National Youth Development Agency Act in order to try to increase its operational efficiency, to make the agency to become more focused on entrepreneurial support, to make the agency to intensify implementation of services. So the National Youth Development Agency and government-wide interventions are actually significant in empowering our young people.
I sometimes wonder, and this might sound ridiculous, but I sometimes wonder if one of the problems at the National Youth Development Agency is that there aren't many people over the age of 35 involved. Maybe one or two might just help a little bit.
Young people must be regarded as an asset. There are currently in the agency a mix of young people, but then at the same time, there are even seasoned youth workers who are even above the age of 35. So the agency actually is promoting youth development across. And, the problems of the agency is not that is because it doesn't have young people. But then the problems of the agency is that it does not have adequate resources to actually discharge effectively on the broad mandate which it has. That is why we are saying that the agency needs to work with other partners such as private sector, such as civil society and government to deliver effectively on its mandate.
Dr. Bernice Hlagala, I really appreciate the time. Thank you. Head of the Department of Youth at the Ministry of Women, Young Youth and People Living with Disabilities.